Warning, the following podcast is extremely chaotic. Confusion and existential dread may occur. Welcome back to Backroom 12, your little corner of backwater isolation where society hopefully can't find us. I'm your omnipresent, disembodied voice of a fairy godmother here to present to you yet another existential crisis. Today's episode is I'm depressed, let's blame it on society. Oh my god, I miss saying that. It's been about 1 month since the last episode, or I guess since they came out within like a week of each other. No, maybe I think it was 3 days. We can consider like the 1 month anniversary of Backroom 12. Oh my gosh, clap, clap, clap. You love that for me. And with that being said, let's talk about consistency. Ooh, getting deep to the first few seconds of the podcast. To start, I wouldn't call Backroom 12 a podcast. Let's just get that out the way to begin with. To say it's a podcast would imply that like there's regularity or that there's going to be like consistent episodes with the intent to entertain. If you haven't noticed, my intent maybe starting off was to entertain, but like going deeper into it, my intent is more so discussions. I mean, at this point, discussions with myself, but discussions nevertheless. And I don't want to regulate that. I don't want it to become something rigid and structured. And oh my gosh, going back to the Myers-Briggs part, I think that was the first episode. It is not in my nature to be consistent, especially not with something that requires me to open up myself, open up my mind. It's not how I work. And I don't think that'd be too entertaining to see anyways, me forcing myself to talk about a specific topic. Like, yeah, I'll do it every now and then, because I do plan to do more, because taking a month in between every 2 episodes might not be ideal. But at the same time, I don't want this to be like structured, because you heard the disclaimer. It's going to be a little messy, a little wild. That's how we like it. And then also Backroom 12 isn't like a podcast. Again, it's my headspace. And like on that same note, I'll never quit Backroom 12. Like, Backroom 12 is life now, and even if I don't physically do it, it's my headspace now. It's whatever space I govern myself in or put myself in. If I ever, stop Backroom 12, quote unquote, it'll be a break until then. But at the same time, thank you for holding out, because I know it is kind of like, because sometimes I make a post and I'll be like, episode coming very soon, and then I'll try to record it, and I'm like, this isn't authentic, this isn't me, and then I back out. And then I don't say anything. So that's on me. I'll make it clear on social media platforms too that I'm not gonna upload on a consistent basis. It'll just be then and there. Which, any other podcaster out there would probably call me messy or doomed to fail. However, I will pay my $12 a month to stay streaming just so I can do it here regularly. Yes, that's me. That's your omnipresent, disembodied voice of the fairy godmother. Messy back at it again. But no, thank you for holding out. And if you want me to be more regular, let me know, because it's not like I don't have a lot to say. Like recently I haven't had a lot to say, but I trust me, I have a lot to say that I'll keep to myself, but I'll put it out here on the podcast if someone asks. But no one has asked, so I'll try to make that clear on social media too. But going into the actual meat of the discussion, aside from me waving my depressive episodes and lack of consistency, let's get into a life update. Ooh. guess who has yet another depressive episode to get through? Yes, it's me. Oh, there's so many applauses in this episode. I don't think it's anything new or anything to be concerned about. I don't know if it's just a part of my personality or what it is, but I fall into loops all the time, and now I'm in another one. And this time, I cannot stay awake for the life of me. Like, I don't know if that happens to anybody else. It's just like, maybe you're melancholy, but the biggest thing is going to sleep and then waking up and it's like 6 o'clock. And then when you're up, it's kind of like, am I going to be productive? Or am I going to watch TV? Because it gives me a momentary moment of bliss. It makes me feel happy for a short period of time. And also then, before I knew it, I skipped like a week of school and I haven't done any homework for the next semester. Yeah, that's me. And it might have just came from, because I really hate rigorous schedules. And after a while, I get so stressed and it just piles and piles. And it happens physically too. Like, I don't know if that's a normal thing, but when I'm stressed, I get tired from one. I guess it's like one of the mental things, but then I also bloat and then I break out in the weirdest ways, and I'm just kind of like, okay, yeah, that's how I know I'm stressed. And it's really not like a workload induced stress either. It's like a too consistent type thing. Because we started off the new quarter, and I didn't even have any work assigned yet. And I was just like, okay, we're going into a second working quarter with a no break. That's not gonna work. It's really not gonna work. And so I shut down. And I had my week off. And it was good, aside from the fact that I kept waking up intending to go to class. And then I sit there and I'm like, let me clarify. I have online classes. And I was sitting there and I was like, I should log in. I should go. I logged in one day. And after the first class, I was so tired. I didn't even do anything. That's what's funny. And then I said, okay, I'm not ready. I should go back to sleep. My lack of communication with my teachers or any of my peers about it is probably damning, but it's all a process. I'm just ready to graduate. And wrapped up in that, on top of needing a break, is life expectations. Let's get into the society part of the episode. I have been so hard pressed about the idea of the law-abiding citizen. Like, oh my God. Or like the society-induced sense of purpose. Like, we got into this last episode, whole purpose crap. But it's hitting me even harder. And I feel the need to talk about it again. I cannot stand the idea of purpose rooted in societal norms or ideals. Like, I hate it so much. Because I'm sitting here and I'm like, do you really base your sense of self-worth off of how well you fit into society's mold? Hate it. Like, most of the people around me are starting to get into colleges, apply for colleges, and apply for jobs everywhere. And they base their sense of purpose off of it. I'm sitting here and I'm just like, what is that all you are? A figment of society? I was about to say a figment of my imagination. We're all a figment of each other's imaginations. But anyways, like, are you just working piece of capitalism? Is that who you are? And I'm sitting here and I'm like, that's pretty much who I am too. And then the depressive episode ensued. But I really don't want to end up as somebody who bases my worth on whether I have a certain job or, a certain job at this point. Because that's really all society chalks up success to. And like, let me just get it out the way. I can do anything in life as long as I have a place of my own. I guess that's why I said I'll never quit Backroom 12, because my sense of security, my sense of self comes from a space that I can call my own. Currently, living with my parents, as the law regulates, I do not have a place of my own. I don't consider this a place of my own. Because again, if my self-worth is based in where I can connect myself to, then I won't necessarily connect to a place that's not legally or spiritually mine, let's put it like that. Like my room is a sacred place. I consider it a sacred place. Matter of fact, I have a candle and oil diffuser going right now. We're getting the right vibes in here, but it's not mine outside of the imagination barrier I set around it. And I guess like my sense of self-worth is also a little societal based, but it's not to say that my moral scale is any better than anybody else's, but I think we all just follow or abide by a set of principles on life that's just so belittling of what humans can do. And it just keeps coming full circle because I come from a very ordained family, I should put. My parents, they both have jobs that are considered to be of a successful origin. They're considered to be successful, quote unquote. And it's like okay, well, you're comfortable. You both have stable jobs and finances, and considering what you've done, you be considered successful in some way or another. And specifically with my mom, who has a very artistic skill set and she sees the world very artistically, I noticed like we always we always joke about it, but I really started to evaluate it, how whenever we watch like a musical or something that's musically inclined, there's like this weird dawning on her and dawning on me. Like I'll get into me later, but more so on her because that's the subject of success we're on. But my mom is very artistically inclined. Let me put that again. She's a very great singer. That's what she's good at. That's what she also does in different settings, for not so much for her sake, but for religious sakes and corporate sakes. And I joke about it sometimes, but like, oh, that would have been you if you didn't go into counseling. You could have been in musicals, you would have been a star. And she'd be like, yeah. And it's not a yeah like, oh, whatever. It's like a, yeah, that could have been me. And she's told me stories of how she was originally going to go into music, but then her father, who was a very money-based person who saw success in the amount of monetary funds you had, told her that he wouldn't support her if she didn't go into a more economical field of work. And so now, like I feel for her. I think about it sometimes where now she has a very good job. She doesn't struggle with finances, but you like, she sings all the time. She wakes up singing. You now have, like, where do you put your sense of purpose at? Like, she's religious, so I guess that's where she gets it from. But aside from that, considering that you're not doing what, we've all realized is not what you want to do, where are you going with that? Like, do you really feel happy? Wouldn't you feel more successful or have your own sense of morals and principles if you had gone with what you originally set forth? Because, like, again, society is a structure. Money is fake. It's printed. It's not real. Capitalism is a structure. It's not real. It's based on funds which are printed and controlled by a municipality or a state or a government, and can be changed at any point or abolished at any point, to be honest. And to place your value on that is just, it hurts. It hurts a lot. But then going back to me, I have this thing where I'm like, oh my gosh, my parents wasted so much potential. Oh, there's so many things they could have did with their children. And it's mainly because I've done, oh my gosh, me talking about music. I did musical theater a lot growing up. Well, not a lot, a few shows. Nothing notable, but something nevertheless. And they've always, like my mother, they've always pushed on this artistic value, but then didn't want it to be a part of me, if that makes sense. And now I'm sitting here and I sit up regretting not pursuing the artistic side of me, even despite the fact that I'm still in my teens and haven't even reached adulthood yet. But I still feel such a sense of regret that it's overwhelming. It's like, why didn't I pick this? Or why am I not choosing to pick this? And again, it's like that monetary scale of what earns more and what earns less. But then also like, what sense of purpose do I get out of it? Look at me sighing like I'm a middle-aged person with regrets. I mean, like, yeah, I have regrets. And there's the idea that I can turn it around still. But still being that fact that there's expectation in society and artistic pursuits aren't typically a part of that. That's really all I had to say. I wanted to give a life update and have something to blame it on. I blamed it on society. Thank you, society. Wow, we love you. You're such a great governing structure. You're so influencing. You're so kind. You're so motivating. You surely want us to do what our human souls crave to do, right? Right? I guess not. Well, that'll wrap up today's episode. This is your omnipresent, disembodied voice of a fairy godmother. Just gave you another reason to have an existential crisis. Mwah. That's what I'm here for. Signing off.